Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to some interesting news we have heard for the first time from Triple H. Triple H has done a press conference. This is the first time we're hearing from him since he took over as head of creative, and even though maybe some of the big answers we were looking for weren't there, and of course they weren't going to be, there was still some really interesting stuff. I think what he ends the press conference with is probably the most impactful. He said he is going to do everything in his power to make this the best product you have ever seen. That is a very big statement. But a very exciting statement as well. He also says all throughout that he is determined to give the fans everything they want and more. So he really is dialed in to what the fans want. He wants to give them everything and more. Now, of course, people are going to start speculating. Does that mean Johnny Gargano this Sunday? Does that mean Bray Wyatt's coming back? I mean, he's clearly not specifying anything. He's not talking about anything in particular. He's just saying that he wants to make the fans happy. He wants to give them everything they want and more. He wants to give them the best product they've ever seen. And this is just great stuff. This is just great stuff. I mean, of course, they're pretty standard answers. What would you expect him to say? But it's still great to hear him saying these things, and it's still very exciting to hear these words coming out of his mouth. And you know, I think WWE has been accused in the past of really just doing their own thing. If you think about Vince was pushing the guys that he wanted to push. You know, for the longest time, the fans were demanding Daniel Bryan, and Vince just was not going in that direction. And obviously, you know, the fans were massively into Bray Wyatt. Ends up getting let go. So now we've got someone in charge of creative saying he wants to give the fans what they want. So even though it's kind of a normal answer, expected answer, a politician's answer, for many reasons, it's still very exciting to hear. At the start, we got the question of what will change, what can we expect? And his initial answer was, well, you're just going to have to watch, which is understandable. Again, he's not going to stand there and go, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So it was, you know, pretty standard. He spoke about big shoes to fill. He spoke about how he can't do that on his own. He says that trying to step into the shoes of Vince McMahon is not a job one person can do. And what was really interesting with this answer is he does actually name some names. He said it's going to take not only me, but it's going to take Steph. It's going to take Nick Khan. It's going to take Kevin Dunn. And what's really interesting there is the fact that he is naming Kevin Dunn. There's been a lot of speculation that Kevin Dunn could be the next person out of the door. In a way, you could say it's quite interesting that he doesn't name Bruce Pritchard. But I don't know. We could be reading a bit too much into it there. But it was very interesting, you know, who he names, who he doesn't name. But Kevin Dunn getting a shout out. Of course, Steph and Nick Khan getting shouts out. They are both co-CEOs. So technically, they are above Triple H in the food chain. So, of course, I think Kevin Dunn as well is ahead of Triple H in the food chain. It's quite a confusing food chain at the moment. So I would imagine that, you know, that is something which is going to be looked at. I mean, as we said, a lot of speculation about Kevin Dunn's future, and we don't know what's to come out of this investigation. So, but at the moment, looks like Kevin Dunn is sticking around. He is the person that produces Raw, produces SmackDown, has done since the start. He is a very big player for WWE, basically Vince's right-hand man in many ways. So, again, we'll have to see what the future holds there. Talks about how he spent half his time on the ground, half his time in the air, says that it's been full on. Like, you know, he's actually doing this press conference from the SummerSlam tryouts. He's still doing that. So not only is he just in a bunker having to, like, try and write shows, work with creative, not only is he talent relations where if they've got problems, they go to him. So he's got, I should imagine, his phone blowing up all the time. But also, he's overseeing the tryouts for new superstars coming in, which just seems like way too much on one man's plate. I mean, head of creative really should be, that's it. That's all you do. I don't think you need to do talent relations. I don't think you need to do the tryouts. Like, let other people do those jobs. Like, this feels like a lot too much for one person, to be honest. So it was good to hear him talking about it's going to take a team. And that led to questions about, well, is Paul Heyman going to be involved? And Triple H wouldn't really answer that Paul Heyman was going to have any role in particular. He just said, everyone's going to be involved. I want ideas from everywhere. And again, that is different from what Vince was doing. I mean, Vince very much was the be-all and end-all. Yes, I suppose people were still feeding him ideas and he had the final say. But this feels a lot more collaborative than what we got under Vince. Or certainly what were the vibe that we're getting from this press conference. He spoke about how Shawn Michaels has taken NXT to the next level. I think that could be debated. He spoke about his health, which was really interesting. Ariel Helwani for BT Sport spoke to Triple H, asked him about his health. He said, thanks for asking. He said that he's past that now. It was a glitch in the road. Obviously, he had a heart attack, well-documented heart attack. He said he's 100%. He's got a clean bill of health. He said he's found out about something really useful called sleep, and so had a little bit of a joke with that. But he said that he's very aware of what his priorities are, and that is his family. He says that life is very short, and he realizes all of that now. And I don't know, this is going to be a really hard balancing act. You can't do talent relations, head of creative, overseeing tryouts, but then also be a family person as well. Like, there's just not enough hours in the day. So the balancing act here is going to be very, very, very difficult for him. They spoke about what it was like to be done with wrestling as well. And he said he's 100% fine with it. He said his career was winding down anyway. He doesn't miss it. It's not a problem. He said that he doesn't care that he never got, like, the perfect send-off match. In many ways he didn't. He never got that, thank you, Triple H retirement match. That never happens. He has his heart attack, and then obviously at this year's WrestleMania, he leaves the boots in the ring. And so that was it, basically. That was him finishing his career. But he said that's not a problem. The perfect end for him was to run it till the wheels came off, and the wheels came off. So, he did it till he couldn't do it anymore. And he said for him, that's the perfect end, rather than have, that final match and maybe always wonder if you could have one more. He did it till there's no doubt there is no more. So he said that was the perfect end for him. And then, of course, he got on to the passion and the whole giving the fans what they want. So nothing in the way of specifics, but still some really interesting points in there. Let me know what you think down in the comments. What are you thinking could change under Triple H? What do you think it'll be more like Black and Gold's? There's a few doubts about that because obviously Black and Gold NXT didn't have the pressure of Fox executives talking to them. USA as well. I would imagine are a lot more involved with Raw than they were with NXT. And actually, you could argue that when NXT was at its very best, it wasn't even on USA Network. It was on the WWE Network, where Triple H was kind of left alone. So there's a lot more pressures involved, a lot more people involved, a lot more voices involved when it comes to trying to book Raw and SmackDown. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd be really interested to see what you think's going to change. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye for now.